Hey guys, you know, this one thing, now first of all, I stick by what I said in the audio video I did a couple days ago. I talked about, physical media like Blu-rays and DVDs and all that still being very important and still being a prominent source of entertainment compared to streaming, because you never know what's going to happen down the road with that, especially if you have internet or 4 or 5G service. But anyway, the one thing I will say about streaming though, about the services like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and all of them, is a majority of the services allow you to create separate profiles for you and your family. So that way, you won't have to share one big profile. Excuse me. You won't have to share one big profile, and on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to have your own list of movies in your queue. You'll have your own recommendation list, whatnot. And that's where streaming services have a leg up somewhat on cable, and what makes them popular is people can create their own individual profiles. Here's the thing though. Cable needs to take a page out of that playbook and start doing that for their DVRs. Hear me out. You see, today and last week, I've had to go to the recovery section, or the recovery section in the DVR recordings to recover an episode of MLP FIM that I DVR'd yesterday, and I was planning to record today onto DVD. Unfortunately, what happened, well, not unfortunately, but anyway, I shouldn't have to do that. But I understand, because it's not a bad thing. Lord knows it's not. I understand that my mom wants to have room so she can record her programming, her movies and stuff. I understand that. And I'm not trying to be egotistic here, but the reason it kind of upsets me a little bit, and Lord forgive me for saying this, God forgive me for saying this, Lord forgive me for saying this, but what kind of irks me a little bit is the cable bill is kind of like my responsibility. I'm the one that does the overall payment on it. Now, forgive me for saying this, Lord, no offense. So if I'm doing that, then I should be able to DVR and record my own programming without having to worry that it's going to be taken off. Well, apparently my mom likes to make the majority of the DVR recording space her own. Now, nothing wrong with that, because I understand that she likes to watch certain programming and likes to rewatch certain movies, but still, you shouldn't have to, and Lord forgive me for saying this, no offense, you shouldn't have to delete somebody else's programming just to make space for it. Because if that's the case, then maybe you should be the one taking care of the cable bill. But she's not. I am. Now again, Lord, no offense, God, I understand why she likes to do this. She likes to record certain movies or programming that she wants to watch on her own time, because she might have to work, or she might be busy cleaning the house or doing whatever. So that's understandable. But you see, this is where cable needs to, as I would put it, take a page out of the streaming services. Because you see, one of the things that makes streaming services very popular, and like I said, I still stick by my audio video that I did on the whole situation, on that whole scenario there, I should say. But getting back to streaming services, what gives them a leg up, ladies and gentlemen, on cable is they allow people to create their own individual profiles. And like I said, this helps out. This helps out in a big way, because you can catalog, because basically by having your own individual profiles, you can basically you won't have to worry about sharing one queue and possibly somebody coming along and removing from your, let's say on Netflix, your list, a show or a movie you have there because you want to watch it in favor of something they want. So in my opinion, what cable companies need to do now is they need to start implementing that into their strategy. Take a page out of the playbook and say, you know what, doing one of our big updates in the future, because apparently cable companies like to do that, here's what we do. And what they do, ladies and gentlemen, what they do is they basically create the option for folks, for consumers, to create their own individual DVR profiles. So that way, when they DVR something, it could be under their name, and they won't have to worry about it being shared by everybody else or seen by everybody else, and maybe as well as being in danger, I should say, of being deleted or erased because of the fact that somebody wants to make room for their programming. It makes sense, and it would actually get people to want to, subscribe to them or pay money to have that service. Because what you're doing is you're saying, you know what? People have different tastes. People have different viewpoints. Let's give them the option to have their own individual profiles for the DVRs. Now, true, DVRs only go up to sometimes 100% before you can't record anymore. So my suggestion would be put the 25% limit. That equals up to 4 individual profiles. And in those 4 individual profiles, if you reach the 25 limit, that's 100. Now, if you only have 2, 50 is the highest you can go. You get what I'm saying, right? The point is, guys, the point that I'm getting at, guys, is basically they need, I hate to say this, they need to do something like this. They need to implement something like this in the future so that no consumer, no family members or anybody can wonder, hey, where's the programming I recorded or I DVR'd? Where's the sporting event I DVR'd? Where's this? Where's that? Because they would have it under their own individual profile, just like on the streaming services. Again, I stick by what I said in that audio video, but the one thing streaming services have, the one leg up they have on cable, is they allow people to create their own individual profiles for each member of the family or each member of the household. And that is basically, ladies and gentlemen, that is basically what they need to do here with DVRs. They need to do that, and they need to do it soon. I mean, let me remind you of something. When DVRing became really popular back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, around the time Friendship is Magic, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic program started to become a phenomenon, there was a lot of places, whether they were shows or cable companies or whatever, would kind of parody MLP. And I think it was either AT&T or Xfinity that did this. But they did a commercial where a young girl was looking for her DVR recording of their parodied version of MLP. And she couldn't find it because the mom had erased it for her programming. And the child was upset. Now, I'm sure the young actress who played that part at the time looks back at that commercial now and goes like, oh man, that was an embarrassment to do, but it was a job, But you kind of get what I'm saying, right? The advertisement for that commercial, though, was to advertise the fact that they were expanding space on DVRs. So that way you wouldn't have to worry about limitations. Or very little limitations, because I think at the time you could only do up to maybe 50% on your DVR. I'm not really sure. But anyway, point being, Point being, ladies and gentlemen, cable companies like AT&T, Xfinity, Cablevision, you name it, they need to look into this. Because if they do it, more consumers will want to try them out if one of the things they offer is the ability to create your own individual profiles for your DVR recordings, so that way no one is worried about a recording they do being erased. So, in my opinion, that has to be done. It has to be done, and it should be done. Will it? I don't know. But I think it should. But let me know what you guys think, though. Do you think it's a good idea that maybe they should go in that direction? Or do you think maybe they should just leave it as is, and maybe perhaps go just the unlimited route where there's no limitations? Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. I'd like to hear from you, and I'm out.